Hey guys, and in this video I'll be talking about the election. I know it was, a while ago, but it happened during the exams and I wasn't able to make a video about it. So yeah, this is me making a video about it now. And my prediction of Labour getting slaughtered did not come true, but then again I predicted, I was thinking that the election would be about Brexit and, other things like that. But it wasn't. Theresa May didn't campaign well. Well, the Conservatives in general didn't campaign well. And it brought, Labour to be able to change the agenda of the election. They changed it to, like national services, like the NHS and things like that. But at the moment, that shouldn't really be what we're focusing on. Yes, we should be focusing on the NHS. But, and the NHS and Brexit is probably a main priority. After Brexit, we can start to really worry about everything else. But yeah, you have that. But also, I think because most people predicted a massive landslide victory for Theresa May and the Conservatives. It didn't happen, but I don't think people understood that there's this tribal. We have tribal politics, So in certain areas, people just vote. I don't know, for example, quite in the northeast or like Middlesbrough, Darlington, and Hartlepool. Well, maybe not Darlington, but Middlesbrough and Hartlepool. They vote for Labour blindly. My granddad voted for Labour. I'm going to vote for Labour. Like my granddad voted for Labour. My dad voted for Labour. I'm going to vote for Labour. That's like kind of the mentality. Even if you ask the people there, right? You ask them if you brought up policies, right? Like, which one do you like better? 9 out of 10 of them are probably right wing, right? 9 out of 10 of the people in Middlesbrough or Hartlepool are right wing, right? It's actually quite weird, right? It shows how strong tribal politics is, because back in the 80s and that you had the National Front, that an extreme right wing group, right? And they had a strong foot in Middlesbrough and Hartlepool, but they were still voting for Labour. People there were members of this extreme right wing group, but they were voting for a left wing party just because of the basis of my family all vote for him, I'm going to vote for him, and things like that. It's terrible. It's so weird. You wouldn't think about it, would you? It's there is quite a big stronghold. Well, not stronghold. I mean, there's quite a big support for things like the EDL and Britain's First in Middlesbrough and Hartlepool. Most people would say the EDL and Britain's First were right wing groups, but people there still vote for Labour and things like that. It's really strange, it's not strange. It just shows the tribal politics there is. I think people underestimated that, or didn't really think that was still a thing, but there is. So yeah, got that bit out of the way. Tribal politics in England, still around. And then you had the emergent. Well, no, not really merged. It was between the two parties, really. The SNP did terrible, really, if you think about it. In Scotland, they lost. They lost constituencies and everything. It was really not that good. I think it shows, that could have been a message from the Scottish people that they don't want another independence vote. That Nicola Sturgeon was promising them, or pushing for. She was pushing for a second independence vote, or referendum, as many would call it. And I think people there would, the Scots, basically nearly turned around and said, "We don't want it," But they're gonna have it after Brexit anyway. So, and I doubt they'll leave, because if they left, there's out for them. But I think there's another thing I want to talk about really, and it's like small parties, right? So local parties, right? I think they're quite important because so every vote they get, they obviously get bigger, right? Maybe one day they'll challenge, an actual position, so like a mayor or an actual having an MP. And when that starts to happen, that's when people start to take note and listen. Like, for example, I don't know, the Yorkshire Party, right? It was only made a few years ago. It was like, I think 4 years ago it was made. And they've been doing, well, extremely well, They say they're only, like, 4 years old, or even 3 years old. They've been doing extremely well. They've been challenging for mayor positions and stuff. I think. Then again, I believe there's more of an importance on that because Yorkshire, compared to London and that's what they're trying to focus on. They're like focusing on that. Yorkshire itself actually has quite a big economy. I think it brings in 30%. For Britain's economy. So it's very large, but they don't think they get enough money back from the government. They say that they make so much money for for the government, and then apparently the budgets for schooling from Yorkshire and London are completely different. I think it's each pupil. For the budget for each pupil in London is 2 times more than it is for a pupil in Yorkshire. That is, that's not right. And I think they should get more votes. They should get a voice. Things like that is important to talk about. So that's kind of quite important for smaller parties as well. Just because they won't get in there. It won't be, I don't know, for example, a Yorkshire party. It won't be a Yorkshire government, Of course not. But it can actually change, it'll change your area if enough people vote for him, it'll change your area, And yes, it won't change how, national politics, but it'll change your rural politics, and that's quite important. And, just say you have people who, really their main interest is in you, It's like Conservatives and Labour. Well, now Labour. Labour used to be for the Northern man, but not anymore. They're all for things down south, and they're more for students. They're more for that. Promising them crazy things that won't even happen, or if it does, it will fucking destroy the economy. And then Conservatives, no one can say that they're for the North. They're not. They're for the South and everything. So that's why small parties like the Yorkshire Party is quite important. Places where they just care about their constituency. That's where it's quite important. But I won't say that parties, that certain MPs from certain parties don't care about their constituency. My MP, he very much cares about the constituency. He visits all the time and things like that. It's good. But I think that's important as well. Quite a few areas, it just doesn't happen. But yeah, back to the election. Sorry, I bit wandered off there on a bit of a rant. But so the election, right? It's quite hard because people in Labour are complaining that it's too well. Sorry, this isn't even part of the election, but let's talk about Labour in general. Sorry, Labour at the moment is split. You have, as people like to call them, I forgot what it's called. I think it's Blairites. Blairites, I believe it's called, or something. where they believe in a way of Tony Blair's ideas, and then that was a little bit more centralist compared to Jeremy Corbyn, and then you have Jeremy Corbyn, who quite frankly is a socialist, or he very much is a socialist, and he doesn't care that people call him a socialist because he knows he's a socialist, right? So there is a split between socialists and people who are just left wing but not that far left wing, and it's like quite hard. I can see there being another party in Britain, Then again, it would just make it even worse, to be fair. There's so many left-wing parties in Britain that it's so bad. There's only like really two major right-wing parties. One of them doesn't even have a seat. It has 0 seats. I don't think it even got like a... Well, yeah, probably did. But one doesn't even have like an MP. And that's like UKIP. So the only two really right-wing parties are Conservatives and UKIP. And well, there's only like really one hope in that. Other than that, everyone else is like left-wing. It's like quite bad. It's quite bad for our overall politics. It doesn't show a variety of views or opinions. Anyway, yeah, so I won't be surprised if there's another party splits off Labour. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. And this is mainly a rant, but it's not, and it's quite weird. Anyway, guys, so I guess I'll leave it there. And my final thought would be that the Conservatives didn't campaign. They didn't campaign well at all. And, this is a result of them not campaigning. Or the only things that came out of the campaign was negative. So, yeah, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. Subscribe if you want more, I suppose. Leave a like if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike the video, because I won't blame you, to be fair. Microsoft Movie Maker is quality, mate. So yeah, guys, I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and goodbye.